Okay, so I'm here to clean up our repo in notebooks because it's gotten a bit messy, and so gotta put in a bit of work to make this like readable if anyone wants to follow along. And I'm also just gonna mostly work through this. Maybe I'm gonna have some comments here and there, but feel free to comment if there's anything that doesn't make sense. So currently this just looks like this and has only one of the notebooks that we worked on there. I think this was another one we worked on. It's currently not there, and I'm gonna start off by just trying to see if I can publish it from right here to GitHub, because I think this is what we did last time. Okay, so with this intro notebook loaded, let's see what makes sense to keep in here. I'm probably just going to try to rerun stuff again. Make sure to set it to GPU. And then let's see. It's connecting. Okay, get the code. Got the success code. Hitting enter. And now this should be installing all we need. So that's definitely something we can keep around. Been slow. I just get the content from Fastbook. Then this is some chapter intro. I guess I can get rid of it. And then I will clean up these notebooks so that they just contain the code that is relevant to the stuff that we've been doing on the stream. So all of this content is in the book anyways, and if you're following through this, just copy your own notebook and you can read everything there. And then this is going to be more focused on actually just the things that we were working on. So clean up of the text. Nice. So I'm just checking whether there's anything before my first model we can get rid of. Let's see. Oh no, it's fine, yeah. Okay, cool. This can all go. This is still loading. What you doing? Busy. What you waiting for? Okay. Do what you must. So we know about this. I think this is where it gets interesting in terms of code. Yeah, okay. I think these things that I'm just removing now are related to the book and renderings on the book. So they're not just code comments, but probably the way that they have this set up, it kind of interprets them while building the book from this resource. How's that going? Not very well. Something's wrong here. I think I'm going to restart the runtime. Start. This should be much faster. Okay. Still got a GPU, we do. Let's give it another try. Okay, I fetch this again. Alright, that was faster. Something got messed up with the authentication code, I guess. One thing maybe interesting, you can see the numbers here, the little numbers that get hidden by the play symbol when you use this Colab. It seems they just tell you in which order the cells have been executed. So they should have a 3, I guess, because I ran it after this one. Okay, so I have not done this one yet. That's the cat classifier. We'll just see whether this is the right notebook, because it doesn't seem like it is. Where's our dog classifier? Not in here. Okay, I'm gonna supply this later. So I'm just gonna clean out all the stuff we don't need and then add the code later on from whatever other notebook we have this in. This book was written in Jupyter Notebooks, cool. And sidebar. This is cool. Can upload. Oh, okay. Pull text. Let's just keep it a normal heading then. Fine with that. Okay, we want to pass this. Don't need that. We're going to be able to click that, upload a file, classify it. Okay. What do we have here? More to read. And I will get rid of it. What is a neural network? More to read, but we have all of that in the book and in the other resources. So no need to keep it around in our work notebook. Deep learning shark. Go away. Mutations. What else we got? Lots of info. Explanation, how does it work? No overfitting. Okay. This is nice, but I don't need it. So I wonder, this is meant to be a table, I guess. Let me try that out, because I think they should be able to render this table correctly if I just put it into a different type of, not ASCII doc, but actually Markdown. I think we maybe need term meaning label. Now term meaning, and then label. I think so. It'd have to be like that. Label data, then ended. Let me just check that out. So, whoop. This would be the heading. Come on. Make me a table. What's that? Okay. I think this is how I have it set up pretty much. Maybe it doesn't. It's to be lines. There you go. Okay. So with a little bit of editing, I could actually make this a nice table in here, and maybe having the recap makes sense. So you can do pressing the Alt key. I don't know what this is in Windows, but you can just have multiple cursors, which makes it a lot quicker, except that it keeps scrolling to the top here. Do not do this. I'm just selecting all that are missing this final bit. Refitting, hope I'm getting them all. Whoop, and then make a table. Nice. Okay, we can keep these terms around. I would say that's helpful. Not just for this is kind of interesting. Don't need that. I think. It's kind of interesting, but we didn't go over it. So the different types of things you can do with it. Just gonna get rid of those two. Camvid. Kind of interesting. Bye. Other stuff. Yeah. Goodbye. What's this? Okay. And we're at the questionnaire. Cool. Can keep those in here. And also the links, because I was looking for that recently. Didn't know where to find it. So let's just keep it around. It's quick links. And this. Okay. Something to think about. Okay, so this is stuff I'm happy to keep here. Other than that, first model. Let's rename this. This is gonna be a cat and dog classifier. Don't really I wonder whether this deletes. No, all good. This is empty. I guess I took this out. This is just explanation. This is so cool. I'm very excited about doing stuff with sound. Go away. Oh. Okay, if you collapse it, you can delete all at the same time. If you do not collapse it, you're gonna have to click through each cell that was collapsed before and delete it separately. Okay, there you go. You are still silent. Let's just double check whether this even works. So far it's only a cat classifier, and this is just plain the code that is actually necessary to run this whole thing, which is, I guess, nice to see that you know, it's really just very little. I mean, this is just setup, import, and then this is the whole code. Plus we have a file uploader. I'm gonna try that out too. I'm gonna let it train and look for a cat image. Okay, so this training is finished, and I also got a cat picture. Let's look at that. Got it downloaded here. So let's just double check whether this works with the uploader as well. Can run this and should give me the widget. There it is, upload. I got you in the downloads. Okay, and now I should be able to run this one here. I got the classification. Yes, very sure about it. Great. Okay, and then we have the jargon recap. This is helpful information to have. And the questionnaire. I can keep these two things in. And let's see. That's a cleaned up version. I'm also going to add a title. Oh, it doesn't work. Text. And can I just move this? Yes. Up. Lesson 1. That's episode 0. R1, what was it? 01, I believe. Okay, let's have this for now. Can also add some links. We fetch these. Let me paste these in. Okay. Nice. So this is just a plain notebook. Import fast book. That's good. It's better. We saw that the classifier still works. I can upload images, and this is just reduced to the minimum before actually the code that we built ourselves. So I'm going to add the dog classifier. I'm going to fetch it for wherever it is and add it in here as well. But let's first try whether I can actually post to GitHub right from here. File. Save a copy in GitHub. Nice. Let's try this. Okay, select this, put it on main. We call it 01 intro. I'm gonna change this later probably. Add first notebook. Okay, sure, why not? And then Should be in here. It opens it up anyways, huh? Something went wrong. Well, right, there it is. So now we have the first one in here and the second one. First one's still missing some content, and then the second one also got to be cleaned up. All right. Okay, I still gotta look for where we have that code. I'm gonna add this in just a bit. So I'm gonna take a break for now. All right, so I'm back cleaning some more. I figured last time that I don't think we have this code anymore. I don't know where we wrote it, but let's head over to the GitHub repo and just add the missing code to the intro notebook. I was wondering what's the best way to do this, whether I should clone the repo locally and should set up a local development environment, but I really just have a laptop. I don't have a GPU, so I'm not sure whether that makes too much sense. Luckily, there's this nice option that I think I had to select it when pushing it over from Colab to GitHub, that I can open it up in Colab. So I guess I could just edit it right there. Because this is messy. I don't know if anyone of you ever tried that, but if you try to edit a notebook file in GitHub, you get all this big blob of JSON, because this is how they're represented. So editing anything in here really doesn't make much sense at all. So I'm gonna try to do this and see whether I can push it back to the same file, because otherwise maybe it makes more sense to edit it locally. Let's see. So this is from before, and then we also wrote a dog classifier. Let's add this as a separate one. We learned that all the images that start with a lowercase in this data set that we're downloading here, that's what is a dog. So there's only cats and dogs in there, and the images that start with lowercase are dogs. So I'm gonna call that dog learn, and we got to cat learn, this one. And then I should be able to try both different images. You're gonna need that also. I guess we can just check whether it's a cat or a dog and just get the two probabilities, which should be just, I mean, the opposite probably. Let's see. But I think this is how we had it set up. I'm just trying to recreate this, what we did on the stream. Did I forget? Yes, is dog. Is dog. The files are the same. We keep the same seed label functions what we're going to use here. So this is a bit confusing, actually. I think it makes more sense if you split this up, because that's a one-liner function here in Python that is then used down there. Here we do the training and fine-tuning. Okay, let's make this a bit nicer too. And I will put this in a separate cell. Just to keep it a bit cleaner. Easier to keep track of. Okay. Let's add some information too as a text file. Don't run that yet. Okay, and then I believe we also had it showing up, like displaying the image. I'm gonna have to do that after running all of this stuff. So, but let's try first whether I can just put this back into, oops, save a copy in GitHub. Okay, let's try that again. We're gonna see whether it's gonna override it. Yes, that's what I want. Add dog classifier. Include the link. Yes, that was helpful. Let's see what happens now. Did it override it? Yes, nice. Okay, so now I have just an additional commit on the same file. Great, that's very helpful. That means I probably don't need a local development environment. I can just do it over GitHub and Colab. Great. Okay, let's run this. I guess I want the right one. GPU, save. Okay, do we have a GPU? Yes, looking good. Which means I can do this whole authentication dance again, do the training, and then test now both the cat and the dog classifier with a picture, and make sure that also the picture shows up. Run all. Cool, so this is getting a data set, by the way, that vision.all seems to include a couple of data sets. This one would be pets, the pets data set. And it's getting, I assume, entire data. So I think this comes with the fast.ai install. Setup book. Yeah, so this data set, at least like the URLs to it must be saved somewhere. So that it creates the path to where to put this data. Not sure, it might have already downloaded it. Otherwise, it's gonna happen somewhere in here. Yeah, here it's downloading just a model. Right, okay, so I think the data set gets created here, or just linked to. I guess fast.ai already has this somewhere. And then here it's downloading a model, and then it starts the training. Cool, so this one is training to recognize cats, and then the basically same code, just with a small change here to look for lowercase, with images that start with lowercase letters. This is going to train to recognize dogs, which then allows me to upload, like I'm going to try with both a cat image and a dog image, and then we'll see that it's going to just have the opposite classification. Yes, is this a cat? Is this a dog? All right. Let me pause this and look for two nice images of a cat and a dog. Found two. This is still training. Where did it go? Guess I closed it. It's the two pictures we're gonna look at. Dog, some cute dog that lived somewhere where I stayed in Bali for a bit. And then this cat from Odessa, that was our house cat. Very cute cat. We're gonna classify those. Okay, looks like number 1 is done. We got training time from, this is much longer actually than the last ones. They trained under a minute. I wonder why. I'm running on a GPU. It's also significantly faster than this 50 minutes that it took us the first time when we ran it on a CPU. So that all makes sense. Not sure why it's like, I guess, a minute slower. Okay, now the dog classifier is running, which, yeah, I don't know how much sense it makes to do this two opposite, because they're essentially the same model, just trained to find the different things. Like, yeah, I guess it's trained on different images. This one is trained on dog images, the other one is trained on cat images, so it does make sense. It's going to be different. What's that? Is it an architecture? No, it's a model because it includes the weights. So this is going to be a different model. Interesting. Okay, let's skip until this is finished. In the meantime, actually, let's look at this. So I was kind of confused about where we had the classifier for classifying different dog breeds that we built. And I found that it was on my account. So I had it into a Google Colab on a different Google account, which is why it didn't show up on our shared account. So I had to share this one, and now we also have it in here. And this one looks also very messy. So there's going to be some fun time cleaning this up to make it like make sense, because there was a lot of command line hacking and getting like some images of Nick's dog Rex. And I'm just gonna clean up this code in just a little bit and remove a lot of the writing in here to make it a notebook that then is actually interesting to look at if you're checking out our GitHub, where it's like just focused on the code that actually does something, plus what we were writing during the screencast, during the stream. Stream is what these things are called, right? Grizzly. Yeah, this is messy so far. Okay, how are you doing? Done, ran into some problems. Okay, so it's done training, which is good. But then it stopped here because I didn't actually upload anything, so I couldn't continue running. Cool, so let's see, 1 minute 30, 2 minutes, similar time. Let's give it a try. Upload, let's try the cat first. And then I should be able to run this. Name learn is not defined. Okay, so I changed the name of the learn program to cat learn and dog learn, so I gotta change this here too. This is gonna be cat learn predict, and this is gonna be dog learn predict. Okay, so we got, is this a cat? True, probability it's a cat. Very sure about it. Dog, no, it's not a dog. And it's a low probability that it actually is a dog. Pretty low though. So I wanna include, also, whoops, the option that we see this image, and I think it's just image.show. There it is. Good. And I'm gonna build this snippet right in there so that we get it shows us the image and then prints out the probabilities. Let's try this again. There it is. Perfect. So I believe this is how we had the code set up. So it's not the original one, but I really don't know where the original one went. All right, but the classifiers seem to work. Let's try also the dog classifier with an image of a dog. So now it seems to have 2 images in there, so which means I might have to actually say I want the second image. Let's try that. No. Okay, so maybe it does delete it. Is this a cat? False. Yeah, okay. Interesting that it tells me 2 here, even though it seems to just keep one of the images around. So I always fetch the first one, show it, now it's a dog, and our cat classifier says it's not a cat, very unlikely, and the dog classifier says, yep, this is a dog, and it's pretty sure. Sweet. I'm gonna put the cat back in because I think it's cuter. There you go. Interesting that this counter goes up, even though it seems to delete the previous image because I keep accessing the 0. Excuse me. Okie dokie, so that's that. I keep around the recap. This is interesting, and also the questionnaire with some links. And with this stripped down version of the notebook, I think episode 0, I believe it was episode. That's fine. We have a good notebook to show. So let's save a copy. Back to GitHub. Finish. Oh, what did I do? Dog classifier was last commit, so here I added run and viewer. Okay. It's opening it up too. And here it is. Now just with the useful code, like this is all the setup for fast AI. Then we want to build a cat and dog classifier. Import this. Training the cat classifier. Shoop, here's the code. Training the dog classifier, here's that code. Upload pictures with the file uploader. And then we have an example of how the classification looks like. Sweet. So this is, I'm happy with that. That finishes the cleanup for episode 1. And next, we're gonna start dealing with this one. All right.